Hi, I'm Mike Carruthers from the Something You Should Know podcast, and with me is Mark Ramsey, creator, producer, and host of the Inside the Exorcist podcast. And, you know, with Thanksgiving coming up and the holidays, this may be the perfect time to explore some new podcasts because people will be traveling, they need something to do, something to listen to. So I wanted to recommend some of my favorite podcasts, one of which is Inside the Exorcist. And one of the reasons I like it so much is, Mark, I'm a big fan of podcasts that tell the backstory. And you not only do that, but you do it in such a unique way in that the first episode just sucks you right in because you start telling several different stories, all of which I'm sure you're going to tie together later, but I don't know how. So let me ask you first, how did the concept come and how did you decide? I know you did Inside Psycho before. Why this?
I intended to create what I was thinking of as an audio graphic novel. I mean, everyone knows the graphic novel format, but it's never really been experienced in audio form. And I thought, well, what about these kind of fast-moving scenes, different perspectives, colliding narratives, colliding time frames, nonlinear format? And then when I stood back from it, my first thought was, well, is anyone going to get this? Are they going to be able to follow this? And I've been delighted that people can. So that's really where it came from.
Yeah, and it's so well done. But why Psycho and why The Exorcist? I mean, those movies have been around for a long, long time, and maybe that's part of the reason why people are familiar with them.
Well, absolutely. I mean, they're kind of epic, classic films that are relevant today. They have pop culture resonance even today. I mean, Psycho was just reincarnated as Bates Motel on A&E, and Exorcist is reincarnated right now on Fox. So these are things that have a lifeline much longer than, when you think of classics, you think of Casablanca, things of that sort. But, when was the last Casablanca sequel or remake?
Right, exactly. Can you give us a peek behind the curtain, like what's next after The Exorcist?
Oh, I can't do that,
No,
Mike. That would be a no-no. No, I try and keep that as secret as I can, in part because I'm still trying to figure it out. But it really depends on something that has some existing scholarship and some really, really interesting stories. So I want to talk about your show.
Sure.
Because I think Something You Should Know is something everybody should know. And one of my favorite episodes, in fact, of your show is one of your recent ones from late October where you talked to the Navy SEAL.
Yeah, he was great.
By the way, I like the term decorated Navy SEAL because has there ever been a Navy SEAL who isn't a decorated Navy SEAL? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, he was a fascinating guy. I mean, he was the guy that guarded Saddam Hussein. I mean, personally, oversaw that whole thing, and his stories are remarkable. He's such a great guy. And with all that, guerrilla warfare background, his advice is to make your bed.
I know that it really sums up to that. I know that was the name of his book, and I wonder why that one point was the one that was worth. I mean, what was it that his publisher thought made that one lesson worthy of the title? What do you think?
Well, it's because that was basically the punchline, the payoff of the commencement speech that he gave at the University of Texas. And his point was that even if the rest of the day goes horribly, you've at least got one thing done. And that could lead to another thing, and that could lead to another thing. But it instills discipline. It's the start of that. And he ties it all together when you listen to the episode. But it's like such a simple message, and yet it's so profound.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was terrific, and it was great hearing him on your show.
Well, I appreciate that, and like you, I suspect that you also get a lot of feedback on all the shows, which is really gratifying because you put all that work into it. And sometimes you and I both know, we sit in a room and we put these things together, and we wonder, does anybody really care? And to get that feedback is great. So. Yeah, it's been a pleasure chatting with you, Mark. And you can subscribe to both Inside the Exorcist and Something You Should Know on Apple Podcasts or your favorite listening app. And check out our Thanksgiving binge recommendations. You can do that at Wondery.com/Thanksgiving. You'll also find a video of how to listen to a podcast for all those family members who are first-time podcast listeners. Again, that's Wondery.com/Thanksgiving. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.